Do you want to make instant $27 commissions over and over again? If so, check out the automated Cash App system. Link below.
All right, dog. I just sent you this video that just came out. It was on TMZ. Some dude named Antoine in Maryland. He was a passenger riding with his girlfriend or fiance, whatever. He's a passenger. His girl driving. They get pulled over, right? And the cops want to get Antoine, the passenger's ID. Antoine refuses to give the cops the ID. So the cops actually force him out of the vehicle. They pull him out of his vehicle and arrest him. And the cops say they arrested him because this is kind of, I hate when cops say this. They arrested him because he resisted arrest, and he had 2 warrants out for his. He had 2 warrants out. But here's the thing: it's like, how did they know he had 2 warrants out if they never had his ID? How did they know to arrest? How did they know who he was if they never had his ID? But you saw the video, dog. And if I can, I'll put like a little clip of it somewhere in this video. I'll do an overlay or something like that. But
I'm on the phone, obviously. You took your time with your investigation. I can't take my time and get off my car. No. My child's in the car. You had multiple chances. Give me a kiss, babe. Okay, do you want to come out on your own? Get off me. Get off me. You want me?
So, what's your take on that video, dog?
I was quite disturbed by it. I wish I can do a follow-up with the situation. I want to know if the brother's okay.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? Make sure he's good. Wife in the car. I did see a baby seat in the back.
He had a baby in there.
The baby was in the car?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, he wasn't driving. But
nope.
They said they were doing 40 and a 35. Am I correct?
45 and a 30.
45 and a 30?
And a 30.
Okay, they were going over the
speed. She was. Yeah.
Yeah, she. The driver.
Mm-hmm.
I know state to state laws are different, but I don't think you need the ID of the passenger unless you have some suspicion. Maybe you reek of something or something like that. You notice when the cops get real close to you, they actually trying to smell something on you.
Right.
But it seemed like there was no reason like that. Like you pointed out, apparently he's getting arrested because they had warrants without even first checking his ID.
Mm-hmm.
So how did they know he had a couple warrants?
Exactly.
Under his belt. And how they just snatching him out of that vehicle, pulling his legs, pulling his arm, grabbing his head, trying to yank him out.
Right.
Destroying their property in the process. Baby in the back seat.
Exactly.
And what scared me, it really got me scared because he kissed his girl goodbye.
Yeah.
This is it. Here we go again. This is going to be another situation.
Same scenario. You can see where it was headed. I believe it ended with that. I believe he just got arrested. I don't know what happened after that. I did read the article that they said the girl and him are planning on suing. They are on some level. I don't know, but they are planning on suing. I did see that. And it's one of them things again. It just gives cops a bad name. You know what I mean? That's just another example of, racist, lead a race. Look, man, they don't do that. That don't happen to white dudes. And if it do, it don't happen a lot. Because somebody gonna comment, yeah, it does happen. I'm sure it does happen to white guys, but not nowhere near as much as black dudes. It just don't happen like that. It just don't. You know what I'm saying? And once again, because like I said, I've been in a situation a million times, been people that got pulled over, whatever, and the cop asked me for my ID. Now, granted, because I ain't trying to get, I usually do, but I've always said, I don't understand why they need my ID. I've always said that, but I always would give it to them because I'm like, I don't trust nothing, bro. I don't trust Kyle. I don't trust none of that. So I do. They're like, what's your name? Got some ID? Okay, here you go. You know what I'm saying? But I always be like, I wasn't driving. Like, what? You know what I'm saying? Like, so I've always said, so I understand where dude was coming from on that level. You know what I'm saying? And maybe he didn't want to give his ID. Maybe he did know he had warrants. Okay, but how could the cops sit there and say he was resisting arrest? What was he resisting arrest? What was y'all trying to arrest him for him to resist? What were you trying to arrest him for? See what I'm saying? So it's like shady, that cop stuff, bro. It's like, come on, man. Especially, this is what I don't understand. This is what I don't get. I wish I knew like a cop right now that I was cool with, but I'm, it's like, especially what's going on right now in the world, or what with the United States, at least with cops.
Yeah.
Why are these cops they're not really easing up with like compassion? Maybe some of them, but the majority aren't learning nothing.
Let me answer that question for you, because I know a few cops, and me, who used to be a bartender, they'll come in off duty, of course, you know what I mean, just having a couple drinks, because it's the weekend,
Right.
And some of these topics get brought up, and I would ask them. And I had one cop, man, he told me, he's like, bro, like, do not take this shit personally. Pardon my language, I'm working on my curse.
Are you good? You good?
He said, don't take it personal, man. It's like this. It's like, we are being told to do this.
I believe
even when we know and feel that is wrong. But of course, I'm not going to deal with the person that said this.
No doubt.
But he's like this. I hate doing that. But that's our job.
Yep. And going back to
he said especially it all depends on where you from, where you live. You're trained that a certain way with people, individuals, and where they live as well.
Yep.
So if you go to those nice neighborhoods, you might have a little bit of a break.
Right.
It was where we come from and stuff like that, which was not bad. It was just we had a bad rep. I mean, we're from Warren, Ohio.
Right.
All of Warren is not bad. And well, yeah, he's talking about pretty much also deals with where you're from as well. It really sucks, man. Like, for example, like I'm from Warren and I go work in Austintown or Niles. Well, I can't really count Niles as anything.
Right.
Good city though, I guess. But Canfield or Poland, they find out where you're from, you automatically got that signal like, ooh. And I remember one time getting lost, dropping a friend off because, he had a little bit too much to drink. Right. I got lost in Poland and cops was on my ass.
Oh yeah, Poland. Yeah, right here. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But it's like, dude, I mean, it sucks, man, but that's just the way it is. Man, I mean, how do you respond to something like that? And I appreciate him for being brutally honest with you.
Right.
And he's a cool dude. He really is. And he told me situations where he stopped people like, okay, what do you have on you? He's like, I don't care if it's weed, man. If it's weed, have a good night. I don't care. But if, we had to stop you, you kind of know what it is. If you have anything worse on you, then, I got to make something happen.
Right.
At least he was one of the ones who's like straight up honest with you and let you know what's going on. But it sucks.
Yeah, and it's just like with this video, I feel like what's going on right now is making certain black people that maybe not even been so aggressive, they're making them more alert and more aggressive than now, because now a lot of black men in particular, they do have a little bit of a chip on their shoulder now, more than ever with cops, because they kind of got this, you know what I'm saying, just like with the dude in the video, you don't see the whole transaction, but you see where, yes, the cops are in the wrong, but at the same time, cop supporters, they're gonna say, well, why couldn't he just give him his goddamn ID, right?
Mm-hmm.
But here's the problem with that. If he did give him the ID, they could have escalated, they could have looked. Now they could say, get out the car. You know what I mean? It's like the cops can dictate a scenario more than the actual person getting pulled over, right? A cop can control a situation better than a civilian. Like, it's just fact. You know what I'm saying? It's like, so if the cops had kind of like this I don't want to say ill will or ill intention with pulling this guy over, it's like, if he would have gave his ID up, then once you ran it, and then you seen he got 2 warrants, how would they have handled him when they got back to him and to let him know you're going to jail, you got 2 warrants? Would they have been real cool about it, or would they would have pulled guns on him? Right? Would they have drug him out the car anyway? Would they have drug him out the car regardless because he had 2 warrants, and they would have put him on the ground? Then that way they would have justified themselves, because they would have said, hey, this dude had 2 warrants, whatever. And so at the end of the day, like I was just saying, like I just feel like cops aren't really learning or not caring. Let me say that they're not caring yet. Enough cops. There are some good cops out there. It's just when it's highlighted, because it's like the old saying people say, you don't want a pilot, you don't want somebody flying your plane that's okay at it.
Yeah.
Right? Just like you don't want the police overall to be okay. You want the police should be top notch. All the cops should be top notch. Just like all your pilots. They all should be dope pilots, right?
Yes.
The cops, they all should be, it should be 1 out of 10,000 bad cops. Not 5 out of 10.
Do you remember back in the day, and I experienced this. Remember back in the day when we were kids, you had cops that were from the neighborhood. You would see them at the YMCA, hanging out with the kids. You see them at Rebecca Williams. Remember Rebecca Williams?
Yep, absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? What happened to those people?
Don't know.
Like the ones that's like about the community, man. Like they knew everybody, and they knew your mama and them and everything like that.
Yeah, your mama and them.
See them at the cookouts and everything like that.
Right. I mean, they're out there, but they're so scattered now, dog. They scattered. There's far in between. You know what I'm saying? It's like they're out there, but they're not.
This brings me to my point right here. Should we have cops patrolling the streets from where they're actually from, the cities and stuff where they're from? Or do you continue having people from outside that environment who has no idea how people are and how they live, trying to police?
There's 2 ways of looking at it. One is my opinion on it is, okay. One, I've seen where cops was saying that, and the cops was like, well, we don't prefer to. Some cops don't want to patrol their neighborhoods because they feel like it puts them in a compromising position. This is what I heard.
I understand that.
So they're saying like, I live here and like I know these people. I rather, it's like it puts me in. If I'm really cool with my neighbor, it might mess with their judgment if they gotta like arrest their neighbor. You know what I'm trying to say? So they were saying it was compromising to live in their own neighborhood.
But how unlikely? I'll let you finish. How unlikely is someone to commit a crime because they know the cop and the cops know them and their family?
Good point. A good point. But my take on it is, it shouldn't matter.
Okay.
If you're a cop, going back to the flight, going back to the pilot, why do it gotta matter? If you're a cop, you shouldn't be like, well, I would treat these guys better if I knew them or if I don't. If you're a cop, you should get immaculate training. I think it should be more psychological training. It should be more background check. They need to go back to find out, were you bullied in high school? They need to go back to be like, did you ever get beat up in high school by black people? Did you ever get bullied by white people?
FBI does that.
But that's what
they go back to your grade school teachers.
Right. This is what they need to be doing. Because it shouldn't matter. If you're a cop, you should be almost like you should be blue. You shouldn't be black. You shouldn't be white. You should be blue. But blue should mean I'm blue, dog. Like I don't care if you white. I don't care if you black. You do the crime. I'm gonna pull you over if you white. I'm gonna pull you over if you black. I'm gonna taser you if you white. I'm gonna tase you if you black. You know what I mean? Like it can't be. Oh, this. Yeah, look at this black dude. He's up to no good. Look at him. He got cornrows. He's up to no good. The tattoos. He must be he must be on parole. You can't. It shouldn't be like. But this is what it is right now. This is what it is in America, at least. But it shouldn't be like that. So to answer the question, I feel like it shouldn't matter. You should be a cop. You should be able to do both. You should be able to. Because remember, a cop isn't a hobby, dog. A cop is this supposed to be your profession, right? A cop. So you have to be professional enough to, if hypothetically they do say you got to police your own neighborhood. Okay, you took that job, then you got to be able to. If you got to arrest if you got to arrest your neighbor who y'all cool with, who live 5 houses down, his son cut your grass, if you're a cop, you got to be mentally strong enough to, hey, if he get in a domestic dispute, you got to go down there and arrest him, dog. It's part of the game. Or if you're in a whole nother community and you don't know nothing about these people, you got to have the same mentality. If you see somebody, domestic call you get, you never met these people in your life, you got to have the same energy as you would with your neighbor that you cool with, you play ball with every weekend. You got to, as a cop, that should be your duty. That should be part of the game. That there is no, when you got that uniform on, you could be cool. You could be the coolest cop in the world. But when it's time to handle business, you got to handle business. That's how it should be. But it's not. It's nowhere near like that because you just see what's going on in the United States. Like, I don't know what's going on in other countries, but I know in the United States, cops are getting a bad rep because of so many cops are doing stuff. And we still don't even see what the cops doing who's not being caught on film yet. Yeah. Think about that. These cops is getting caught and they so cocky, they see that they're being filmed and they're not even making no adjustments. So, and like I said, once again, there are cool cops, but it's just a lot of these cops, man. And like I said before, it should be 1 out of 100 bad cops, not 4 out of 10 are shady. It shouldn't be 4 out of 10, 5 out of 10. And I'm being nice right now. But 5 out of 10 is bad. No, it should be like, a crooked, I don't want to say crooked, but like a racist cop or whatever, that should be so rare in this day and age. That should be rare. If you hear about a cop who beat a black man because he was just black, that should be like, oh my God, that hasn't happened in years.
Hey, you know what? I bring you to this point. I seen a video, and I wish I could remember the cop's name, but he was arresting a young brother. I'll probably say he's probably middle age. That's maybe. And brother was trying to whoop that cop's ass. He was whooping that cop's ass.
Yeah.
But you know what happened? A group of brothers came to that cop's rescue. You know what I'm saying? Right. Because the dude was in the wrong. The cop was doing his job.
Yeah. And you know, bro, I'm glad you said that too, man, because people who are against, people who say cops need to get their act together, at the same time, yes, do black people need to be arrested sometimes? Yeah. Do black people need to be detained sometimes? Yeah. But white people do too. And this is, once again, goes back to the training. It's like, treat everybody the same, but they can't because, like you said, there's prerequisites, before you pull somebody over. Some of these cops already know the deal before they even talk to you. They already know they gonna harass you. And another thing I feel like some cops, like, cause my dad, my dad, super nice, super cool. Yeah. He get pulled over, and for no reason, he done it like 2-3 times. Got pulled over for no reason, and I told him, I said, I think sometimes, and I'm just talking because I just feel like sometimes some cops don't even have an intention to arrest you. I think sometimes they just do it to scare you, to black people. I think sometimes they'll just pull you just to be like, cause like my dad was driving like fine. The cop pulled him over. He came to me and my mom, my dad and my mom came up and he was like, where y'all headed? What's wrong, officer? Well, it's pretty late out here. It's dark. It's just like, but it created that. It gave my dad that fear. First of all, the fear you get when you get pulled over. The other fear you get when the cop roll your window down. You got that fear when that initial, what are you getting stopped for? When the cop tell you. So the cop almost like, I feel like the cop was like mission complete. As soon as he saw my dad's face, like, oh, we just headed to a concert. The cop like, got him. I'm good. You know what I mean? I feel like certain cops do. I think certain cops, like I said, they pull cats over. They know they ain't gonna arrest the person. They know it. I just feel like they just want to let them know, like, I could arrest you. I could make your night really bad, but I'm not. Have a nice night. I just think, going back to what we were saying, I think cops need more training, bro. Not even training, because like you said, cops. You know when people say, "Oh, we need to have more." Cops need to have more training, like with social justice and all. Like, no, bro. We all adults. We know what racism is. We know what's right and we know what's wrong. We're not even cops. We know the deal.
Mm-hmm.
You just need to do more of either maybe more training on how to be neutral, but you can't make a cop who's racist. There's no class that can really change him. In 6 weeks, you're not gonna be racist. I don't believe that. It starts within the person itself. You know what I'm saying? You can't sit there and be like, well, we need to put more money into cops getting more training about how to deal with minorities. No, you know how, because guess what? Everybody has to learn how to deal with minorities no matter what you do, correct? Don't you gotta, all your jobs you had, all the jobs I've had, don't you gotta just learn how to deal with people?
Yes.
And not only that, black people got it twice as hard, because you got to first learn how to be a minority. Then you got to learn how to deal with the other, you know what I'm saying, the other races. You got to learn how to deal. You got to learn how to be a minority. You got to learn how to deal with other minorities. And like I said, I think with the cops, they need to do better hiring, so to speak, because you can't get a racist cop or a bad cop and think you can give him some training not to make him racist. He got to come into the game willing to be a straight neutral cop. He can't come into the game like, yeah, I hate N-words. You can't come in the door like that. You can't. They got to make sure the people that they putting on the force, they need to do as much as, like you said, research like FBI and stuff. They need to really, really know that if that cop is a racist, he's doing a damn good job of hiding it.
I mean, dude, that is an awesome plan, and of course, that should be something that should be executed always with hiring anybody, especially in that profession.
Especially that profession.
But my question is, you know how they have the defunded police, everything like that. I don't know how much. I guess it depends on what city or state you're from, how much money like they generate. But could it be not cost efficient wise to do background checks that extensively? Like, example, when I brought up FBI, CIA, and stuff like that, they go back and talk to grade school teachers. They find out how you were in class. They find out if you've been bullied. They find out if you're like a church-going member or something like that.
Right.
Now, do our local police and stuff like that, do they have those kind of resources?
I'm gonna say no.
Or it's just like this, let's just get them in, get them out.
Yeah, I mean, I'm assuming you're right on that. I'm assuming you're right on the fact that from a economic standpoint, I believe that they would say, oh, that's too cost efficient. But once again, look at when these cops mess up. Look how much money the state got paid out. Like, look at what Breonna Taylor's family got.
That's what I'm talking. Yes, okay, yeah.
Like, look at when they mess up. That guy who got shot in the back 7 times.
Yes.
They got paid. His family got paid.
So the money is there. So is it?
So
or like I said, get them in and get them out. Them train, get them out there.
I think it seems like obviously right now it's a get them in, get them. I mean, it's a get them in, get them out type scenario, because I feel like what's going on, man. I mean, ultimately, you from a what they say 30,000 foot view, do our country really even care that these cops killing minorities? Do they really care?
During election time, yes.
Well, yeah. On a normal situation.
I'm not trying to be funny. During election time, yes, they care.
Yeah, right. But outside of election, do they care? That's the question.
They'll probably be like,
Exactly. I mean, not to be mean, dog, but it goes back to our conversation we had in the COVID video. When stats came out, that at that time, back in matter of fact, it was back in May, April, May, into April, going into May. And I remember calling my mom. It was so funny. They came out with the study. They were like 70% of deaths were like from African American people from the COVID. And like 3 days later, all of a sudden you heard, we need to open the country up. The country needed to be shut down when it was like nobody knew what the stats was on who was getting infected by COVID, who was dying from it. Once it came out, like, yeah, I mean, basically older black people. Then now a lot of people get it. White, black, old, young, a lot of people getting it now. So it's like, well, we can't shut down no more anyway. Okay, whatever. But when it was just funny that when it was pretty much a known thing that minorities, people of color, were the ones most affected by the virus. I mean, white people was always getting it, but the people that was affected the most were predominantly black people with conditions, diabetes, heart problems, blood pressure, whatever. All of a sudden, it wasn't that bad anymore to open things back up. Now, do you think? Go ahead.
I was just, when you were talking about that, I was thinking about a verse that Andre 3000, 3 Stacks, said on was it the Acrimonite album? What was his? I can't quote him word for word.
Yeah.
But long story, I'm gonna cut it in pieces. And he was using a drug reference, but you can put the COVID-19 as a drug as well.
Right.
To what I'm gonna say. He said it was introduced to Hispanic communities and blacks, and then it spread to white and got everyone's undivided. Attention because their daughters and only anyone can hide it. Maybe their son tried it. We have too crowded. No, they scared to talk about it. But if you just go ahead and take that reference, what he said, and introduce it to what's going on as well.
Right.
It spread to white and got everyone's undivided attentions. But it was introduced to his communities and blacks. You know what I'm saying? I ain't trying to turn this into like a racist thing, but it just popped in my head. It's just like, man, that makes a lot of sense.
Well, I mean, let's be real. Let's be real. Mm-hmm. If the stats came out back in April that it was 80% of the people dying from COVID, keep it real. If 80% of people dying from COVID was white men and women between the ages of 30 to 50 years old, do you think we would have opened everything back up at once?
No. If we're being real, no.
I mean, that's just real. They'd have been like, nah, our people. I don't want my wife ain't going to work. Hell no, right? My son's not going to work. No, we're not. It's mighty funny. And they were like, because once again, who works the real jobs, right? Who works at the bus stops and the grocery stores and the the frontline people, the people that do the real work? What color are they?
Well, I can't really make that assumption right there because where I came from, all of us is a mixture of everything.
Yeah.
It was for black people and for white people.
Mm-hmm.
We all got something in common. We're working through this damn pandemic and getting paid. You're getting paid pennies to do so.
Well, your class plays a difference.
Matter of fact, there was a bonus that the company was going to give out to all their employees for working so hard.
Right.
Through this whole pandemic. You know how most people from the stores I was at got paid as a bonus? It was $1 and some change. $1 and some change. Well, I kid you not. $1 and some change.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Exactly. You know what I'm saying? So
every single day.
Yep. But that's what I'm saying. Your class does matter too. Because I ain't want to say the other part about if the demographic was 30 to 50-year-old white men and women, but don't forget the class. It depends. Like you said, the people that they don't, not to be mean, but the white people working the low income jobs, they're disposable. We don't care about them. We care about the white America, like the white man and the woman with the, you know what I'm saying, with the white picket fence and business people. That's who they're protecting. If it was about that demographic was getting affected by COVID, they would not have opened up the places, because it's mighty funny. Perfect example. This end all be all right here. This proves my point. Trump was begging. We need to get our kids back in school. Kids need education. Kids can't do Kids this, kids that. Open the schools, right? But his son don't go to school. His son don't gotta go. His son don't go to Barry don't go to public school. But he want your kids to go. He wants my niece to go, my girl's niece. All them, you guys go to school. Go. Because if y'all die, it don't affect me. It don't affect me.
It's not even just like the president's kids. Mostly people that are in politics or position of high power, their kids are not going to school. It's like their kids not going to war.
It proves the point. It proves the point. It matters. And it goes back to, guess what? Full circle. The video we did before. Full circle about Trump supporters. Right? Low income, no educated. And that's what Trump telling them people, send your kids to school. It's okay, go. It's fine. Okay, good man. Your kids need to be in school. Where your kid at? Oh no, he got like a special tutor in a glass room, and think about it. It's like it's right in front of people's faces. It's okay for you guys to work in the grocery store. That you think Donald Trump is going to the grocery store?
No.
And being around the same people that he's telling you, we gotta get back to work. We gotta get our people back to work. You ain't gonna be nowhere to be found. You think Donald Trump is gonna be a bus driver? Is Donald Trump catching the transit somewhere? No. But he wants everybody, all the bus drivers. Come on, y'all. Drive a bus, come on, man. But he's not even doing nothing about testing. I mean, that's a whole nother story. But the point is, like we just proved the point right there. It's such a lopsided situation.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? It's just and for people that don't acknowledge that, they got issues in itself. It's ridiculous. You know, and it's funny because we veered off, but like bottom line is with that situation with dude, it's just another example. That's all.
Yeah.
And it's almost sad. It's so sad that as a black person, and I don't care, white people don't got to deal with this. If you get pulled over, I told my dad this. I mean, he don't do it because he ain't like super phone guy. What? And I tell Jen and stuff all the time, like, no, we ever get pulled over, man, had a phone on record on deck. It's sad. Because why you think that dude in that video I sent you, why you think he was like, hey, film me, get out the car. Film me. But he yelled at her. Film me. Because he know, like, I could be another, here we go. He thinking probably in his mind, like, here we go, like, oh. It shouldn't have to be like that. It is like that, but it shouldn't have to be like that, man. Stupid.
Throughout our here in the States, going back to civil rights movement and everything like that, I do realize the more things change, the more they stay the same.
And that's what it basically boiled down to, dog. Because this election is something that this election we got coming up, dog, this like some election that should have happened in the 90s, bro. Like 2020 election should have been like 2 black women going for it. You know what I'm saying? Or a white woman and a black woman, or a middle-aged white dude versus a middle-aged black dude, right? Or
maybe it happens. Maybe one day.
Maybe. I don't know.
Until then.
Ain't looking good right now. Ain't looking good right now. But we close though with Kamala. We close.
Yeah.
Kinda.
Yeah.
Ish.
We'll see. We'll see. I'm sorry, my voice cracked up when I said that.
Yeah. You see my voice went too. Hell yeah, but that wraps up this video, y'all, man. That's our take on this situation with this guy, passenger, didn't want to show the ID. Dude ended up getting arrested. We think it's garbage. But comment below, let us know what you think, and we'll holler at you in the next video. Peace.
Peace, guys.
I let the chain hang. Yeah, I'm tattered up, and I love to cuss. I just don't give a. See, I'm just doing me, and you should do you. Yeah, I hear you talking, that's just your point of view. And see, I just don't care. I be like, yeah, I done heard it all. Damn, there's haters everywhere, and they keep me motivated.